Hey guys, it's Fred. I've got a follow-up to the follow-up of the last video I did from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, where the sheriff was given a account holding a news conference. Here's another video that the local news there in Jacksonville has just broadcast. You know, the sheriff showed 2 body cams, I think it was, during his interview. You've got to understand, there was 5 officers there. 5 officers equals 5 body cams. There was 5 police cruisers. 5 police cruisers equal 5 dash cams. So, you know, he was limited on what they showed on the body cams that he did show. They was limited. It didn't show the punches. It didn't show the head being driven into the ground. If you'll go watch these videos one by one in various places that you can find them, give you a better understanding of what took place. If I could title this video, it would be How Not to Act as a Police Officer. And you know, the one officer has been, his law enforcement authority has been revoked for the time being. You're going to hear about his past here in a little bit. But it's not just the one officer. Watch the officer that's got the fella's head. He's got him by the hair of the head, beating his head into the ground 2 or 3 times, and then pushing down, driving his head against the asphalt. In fact, that's where the gentleman says that they broke his tooth. I'm not condoning this guy's action for not getting out of the vehicle as he was told to. I'm not condoning. He should have went along with the arrest and gone along. But he didn't. And even though he didn't, that didn't account for the butt whooping that he took. He took some punishment that was not part of the arrest. But let's watch the video and we'll pick up on the other side.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here.
Tonight on the 10 o'clock news, a Jacksonville Sheriff's Office traffic stop going viral with 1 million views and climbing on social media. Now we see all the angles of the interaction.
I'm about to break the window. Go for it. Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
JSO releasing body camera footage from each of the 3 officers who were involved in the incident, which is now drawing national attention. After roughly 4 minutes of asking William McNeil Jr. to get out of his car, officers smashed through the window, pulled him out of the car, and pinned him to the ground, telling that driver to stop resisting. The viral traffic stop now prompting questions of drivers' legal rights and demands of transparency from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
This incident happened back in February, but McNeil just posted the video on social media this past weekend. Sheriff T.K. Waters says an internal department investigation into the officer's conduct is underway. A violent altercation that all began when police noticed McNeil's headlights weren't on. News4Jax reporter Eric Avignon joining us live in studio tonight. Eric, you have more on everything that's happening here.
Yeah, so we just found out today that encounter between Will McNeil Jr. and Officer Donald Bowers, again, it happened back in February, but Sheriff T.K. Waters announced today that he didn't know about it until someone had told him about that cell phone video that was posted onto social media. He said he ordered an immediate investigation into the matter. This is the cell phone video that has since gone viral after it was posted onto social media.
Exit the vehicle!
You just saw 22-year-old Will McNeil Jr. being punched in the face by JSO Officer Donald Bowers during a traffic stop. Now, here is the newly released body cam video showing how it all began.
Yes, sir. Is there a reason why you're popping the door open like that?
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely there's a reason why I'm pulling you over. One thing, inclement weather, you don't have your lights on. 2 things, you're not wearing your seatbelt.
It's daylight. I don't need the lights. And it's not weather. It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement?
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you. I'm telling you why I'm pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
77, 35. I'm a proper dog driver. I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle.
Moments later, after more cops show up, Officer Bowers' body cam records what happens next.
Exit vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here.
Investigation 33 at 15:21 hours.
Where's your reason, sir? Step out. Where's your reason?
You know, the news says the body cam shows what happens next. The body cam doesn't show what happens next. This is one of the body cams that the sheriff used in his demonstration, in his news interview. It doesn't show where Officer Bowers strikes him with his fist and him sitting there in his car. It doesn't show that. So the body cam does not show what happens next. It shows him getting him out of the car, but it doesn't show the punch. And that's one of the videos that the sheriff actually showed. He showed two videos, and neither one of them showed the punch. Neither one of them showed his head being driven into the ground. Neither one of them showed him giving the uppercut as he exited the vehicle with all these officers around. Guys, imagine being 22 years old, and having 5, 6 officers, grown men. These are grown men attacking you. I'm not saying that they're not police officers. I'm not saying that we don't have the authority to effect the arrest, but imagine, you know, this is not a violent criminal. This is not a PFO, a persistent felony offender. This is not even a man that has had a criminal record that we've heard of. We've not heard, other than his driver's license being suspended. That could be from speeding. We haven't been shown a DUI arrest. We haven't been shown deadly weapon. They want to talk about this knife that they saw after the fact that he never made no move toward. They want to bring all this stuff up now, but he was not charged with that. He's not, from what we can understand, there's no criminal record on him that anybody has produced at this point. So this is not a violent criminal. You know, they just did not know that this man had his phone going. He was taping them while this was going on, and his phone was taken into evidence. He didn't get it back till he got out of jail. How not to act as a police officer. That should be the title of the video. And again, there's not just 3 officers. There's 5, at least 5 officers there, and 5 police cars. In a minute, well, we'll talk about it when we get to it. Let's go ahead.
Put your hands behind your back! Hands behind your back!
McNeil pled guilty to driving on a suspended license and resisting arrest without violence. Sheriff T.K. Waters says this encounter could have been prevented if McNeil had not resisted arrest. But what about this punch to the face as seen in the cell phone video?
Was it appropriate for the officer to punch this guy in the jaw after he'd already broken the window? Was that yes or no? Was that appropriate?
It depends on the circumstances. But it's already determined it's not criminal. Now we're going to look for JSO policy violations.
Guys, anybody out there that thinks that this is not criminal is blind. You know, this is assault. It may be simple physical assault, but that was a punch thrown at a man who was sitting in his car. Now, granted, he should have gotten out, but he didn't. You know, that's why we have police officers to correct when there's violations of the law and to charge people. It doesn't give us the right to abuse other people. It doesn't give this police officer the right to act like he did. The sheriff said if he would have got out of the car, none of this would have ever happened. Well, that's fine. But not everybody gets out of the car. Not everybody gives up. Not everybody pulls over when they see blue lights. That doesn't give the police officer the right to go vigilante, to go wide open and do whatever he wants to. He's no better than the person that he's trying to arrest.
How about that? Is that good?
Well, if a civilian did that to another civilian, they would be in handcuffs.
No, not necessarily. It depends on the circumstances, the situation.
I asked that same question to civil rights attorney John Burris.
What circumstances can you think of as not even a police officer, as a civilian, What circumstances can you think of where somebody strikes another person who isn't fighting back, who's not making an aggressive move toward them, and you just haul off and punch a person, and you're not going to be charged criminally? And what fantasy world is that sheriff in?
If his name sounds familiar, it should. He represented Rodney King in court after King was seen on video being beaten by Los Angeles police officers during a traffic stop. Burris has no affiliation with this investigation.
If a regular civilian had done that to another person, would it be safe to say that that civilian would have been charged with aggravated assault and destruction of property?
Absolutely. And that's why a civil rights case is going to be filed soon.
Now, McNeil is being represented by civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump and Harry Daniels. And when I spoke with Burris, he showed interest in joining those attorneys in this case to create what he would call a legal dream team.
So one of the things the sheriff did today, we learned a lot. We saw the additional body camera videos there. Now that we know William McNeil Jr.'s name, you've been looking into maybe his past. What have you found there?
I think you're talking about the officer.
Thank you very much. Yes, Bowers is the name of this
Bowers,
officer.
yeah. So what I found out is that he is no stranger to the IA, Internal Affairs. In fact, he's been at the center of 5 previous Internal Affairs investigations. 3 were initiated by civilian complaints, and the other 2 were from within JSO. Only 3 of the complaints led to either a reprimand or some type of counseling. So, again, now this is a totally different act.
5 internal affairs complaints, at least 5, guys. You know, in my second video, I said a person's past often predicts their future and so forth. And I said I didn't think this was his first rodeo. He just didn't decide one day to go up there, break a window, and start punching somebody. And you can watch how he walks around bragging to the other officers. Look at his hand. Look how he's busted the guy's mouth and the blood on his hand and so forth like that. He's had 5 other complaints. You know, the other complaints, and I'm one of the biggest supporters of police officers when there is no video. When there is no video and there's a complaint and it's just an officer's word against the person's word, then sometimes we have to go with the officer. He's at the disadvantage. But guys, when there's video out there that shows a person being abused and it is on video and it's not his word against the other one's word and there's proof, then it's time to go. 1 strike and you're out. This man has 5 other complaints at least, and he's still on the job. And now he's done it again. And this time, looks like he's going to get the department sued. And rightly so, in my book. It's time to fire this officer. It's time to fire this. And the other officer that was driving his head, from what I could tell, this guy on the ground took his head 3 times by the hair of the head and pushed his head up and down, up and down, up and down. He beat his head. He didn't hit him with his fist, but that was punishment. That was not to subdue him. He was already subdued on the ground. He wasn't fighting. He was laying there. And that officer took his head 3 separate times, from what I counted, and pushed it into that hardtop. And hardtop doesn't give enough warnings, enough counseling. That officer has to go. You know, he's talking about the guy pleading to the reckless driving, or not the reckless driving, but suspended license and so forth. The guy, a lot of times people just plead to get the case over with. They just want to put it behind them and move on. And he even pled to the seatbelt law, and you can clearly see in the videos where the officer reaches in and takes the seatbelt off. He's got a seatbelt on, but he pled guilty to a seatbelt charge. Why? Why would a person do that? He done that to get it over with, get it behind him. And then when he's got his phone back, he's looked at it and realized that, hey, I was even treated worse than I thought I was. A video, not just a complaint. There's a video here, not just a complaint. There's no better independent evidence in something like this than a video. Videos don't lie. Videos don't take sides. Video shows you exactly what happened. And what happened was this 22-year-old kid was physically assaulted by a man with a badge. That doesn't give you the right to assault somebody, and that's what happened. Go ahead.
Accusation here. We're talking about, did he violate JSO policy? Because as we know, according to the state attorney's office, which was revealed in that news conference today, they didn't find any criminal wrongdoing. The state attorney didn't.
And no idea at this point how long the internal investigation will take.
Have no idea how long that could take. I mean, it could take weeks, it could take months. It just depends on, in terms of their policy, JSO policy, what did they deem that if a policy was broken?
Eric, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody that's ever charged in Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida, with simple assault should take that video with them to court, plead not guilty, and hopefully it's the same prosecutor that said that this is not an assault charge. Because if this isn't an assault charge, neither is your bar fight, your regular road rage fights, and different things like that. You can't pick and choose who you're going to prosecute. People doesn't like that. They look at that. They're smart. Our public are smart. They're smart with police officers. They're smart with prosecutors. And if a prosecutor says that that is not simple assault, then there's nobody that's ever in a bar fight. And I was in the military in Jacksonville, Florida. And I run around a little bit back in them days, and I know what kind of hangouts they have or used to have down there back in the 70s. There's plenty of bar fights. And nobody else should ever be charged with a simple assault charge if that's not assault, what we saw on that video. Guys, that's going to conclude this one. That's there's all kinds of videos from different officers that's out there now. Some of them's from the cars you can see. And I think when it all comes out from different angles, the guy should have got out and went with them, but he didn't. We live and learn. But even though he made a mistake there, he didn't deserve the beating that he took on that day. Thanks for joining me. Catch you next time.